What up, guys? MrMelvinnTV coming back at you with another one. Hope everyone's having a great day so far. I'm gonna get right into the video. The state of Tennessee are getting ready to pass House Bill number 2689. That's 2689, which will prevent maternity fraud. The state of Tennessee is the first state to do this, and I think other states should follow suit. Now, what this bill entails is when the baby is born, only the biological father will be allowed to sign the birth certificate. Meaning, if, let's say, she got pregnant by Joe, and Joe goes in there when the baby is born, he's holding the baby. All right, Mr. Joe, come on down and sign the birth certificate. But before he signs anything, he is going to have a DNA test done, which is going to be standard across the board in the state of Tennessee. If Joe is the suspected father, Joe will have his DNA done right then and there. And if he's actually the father, he can go ahead and sign the birth certificate. But let's say if Joe went in that room and Joe was not the father, a la Maury Povich, Joe will not be allowed to sign the birth certificate because Joe is not the biological father. And this is going to save a whole lot of men years of nonsense, the stuff they would have to deal with, because I know guys personally who had children by women and found out 3 to 10 years later that that wasn't their child. And guess what? They still had to pay child support because they signed the birth certificate, which is nothing but a daggone contract in all states. Now, Tennessee just changed the game. Like I said, hopefully other states will follow suit. No more of the mama's baby, daddy's maybe concept in the state of Tennessee. If you have a baby and you say Xavier is the father, Xavier got to come down there. If he's going to sign a birth certificate, he would not be allowed to sign it until he takes his DNA test. Like I say again, if he take the test, comes out, Xavier's the father, no problem. Now you can go get your child support and all this other nonsense. But if it turns out he not, hey, you don't get nothing. The search has to continue because you don't know who the father of the kid is. So therefore, your birth certificate is going to be left blank. But anyway, let's get into a couple of videos and see what these guys think about it. We go from there.
All right, so those of you who are in Tennessee, guess what? House Bill 2689 is getting ready to pass. That is requiring paternity tests before you sign the birth certificate. Because, you know, when people do paternity tests, 1/3 of the time, they end up not being the father. And if they start testing everybody, that number can only go up, not down. It's going to be dramatic. And right now they're starting to also add in things like, you know, maternity fraud is a crime and a punishable crime. So guys used to go to jail for not paying child support on a child that wasn't theirs because the state wants to get their money, because if there is no father to pay for the child support, somebody has to pay for it. So they push it onto the nearest person that could be a father figure. And they're actually starting to jail time the ladies for maternity fraud because it is such a rampant crime.
So I don't agree with a lot that they do in politics, but I agree with this one. The hustle is over. The scams are done in the state of Tennessee. And I know some of y'all feel like, well, why should we have to do all of this? They should trust me, because y'all be lying. The women be lying. And if you know that this is his baby without a shadow of a doubt, husband, boyfriend, baby daddy, it don't matter who it is. Let them go on and get that paternity test, sis. If you on the up and up, it shouldn't bother you. And for all of those women out there faking pregnancy to scam men, ooh, y'all big mad now, ain't you?
Okay, so this gentleman, he eloquently broke it down for us so we can understand what the law really entails. And that is what it is. You know, you can't just willy-nilly and say somebody's the baby's father and have him down there blindly signing a birth certificate knowing he ain't the kid. You got to find out months to years later that he's not. Tennessee said, no more of that maternity fraud. We need the actual biological father to show up. And that sister's right at the end. You know, a lot of women in the state of Tennessee not going to like this law because, you know, like she said, some females lie. You know, you sit there knowing you had all this unprotected sex with people, and there's a possibility there could be multiple guys who could have been the father, but you usually don't say that. You usually go out and pick the guy you like the most, or the guy who has the better job and all this other goofy nonsense. But now the Tennessee said, none of that. It's over now. You treated me so bad. Over now. Yeah, they killing all that. So only the biological father will be allowed to sign the birth certificate. And we're going to go into this video right here to show why the state of Tennessee and a lot of other states are going to be fighting against this. Tennessee, it passed there, but don't trust and believe. It was officials there fighting against it, like judges and people at not so much Planned Parenthood, but people at the DFACS or DHHS, whatever it's called in your state. You know, they was fighting against that because they get kickback for that. They go get their palms greased and all that. You know, and this video breaks down why they was fighting so hard against it, even though it did pass. And even if it tried to trickle down in other states, trust and believe the officials are going to fight against it as well because it's a cash cow. And they want to keep that money coming in. Let's get into it.
Staff at hospitals and the nurses and all that, they have to do another job, and that's get parents to sign this form.
Shout out to the women that are fighting for men's rights. We don't hate women, we just despise the foolishness. We have to generalize when we discuss these topics, and if it doesn't apply, let it fly. This system is crooked. They know that they will have to pay for these children if men don't pick up the slack. That's why these judges have incentives to put non-biological fathers on child support, give men in general longer prison sentences, and they are rewarded for doing so. Let's read. The Tennessee Department of Human Services, who oversees the child support program, is fighting vigorously to kill the bill. Why? Because the department fears any changes in their enforcement rules could possibly jeopardize the $52 million in funding it receives from the federal government for its child support enforcement programs. In addition, DHS could also potentially receive millions for reaching a quota of 90% acknowledged births, with yet another bonus out there for exceeding the quota. You see, that's why men struggle to get these laws to change, because there are bigger and stronger forces that make sure these laws stay in place.
See, look at that. At the end of the day, it's all about money. You know, somebody got to pay for the kids, so they'll just automatically just pick any guy who put his name on the birth certificate and make him pay, which is not fair. That's not his biological child. So therefore, he shouldn't be financially obligated. But as you can see, all the millions that they pour in each year just to have the child support enforcement enforced on guys who not even the daggone father. You shouldn't be in there blinded. You with this woman every day of the week. You guys sitting here and start a family and come out 5, 6, 10 years later, you find out that's not your kid. I read an article, I don't know where it is, article recently, some guy had 6 kids by the woman, all 6 of the kids wasn't even his. Well, that's just crazy. You had 6 kids by this woman and none of them are yours? He was that much just in the streets just busting it wide open for whomever. That's crazy, but I really hope all other states adopt this law, man, because that's only fair to guys. You know, and guys, man, you gotta be careful out here. You just can't go raw inside everybody you see, bro. Come on, man. You know she young and she's still fertile and all that. She can still have kids, man. You know, you doing all this stuff, all this busting and all that. You know, then when it's time to step up, you don't want to do that. But anyway, man, it's your boy, MrMelvinnTV, coming back at you with this one here. Like I said, I hope all 50 states adopt this. I highly doubt it because you can see it's a huge cash cow for the state, for all the other states that sit there and keep punishing men who have children that's not even theirs, and they're gonna make them pay anyway. All right, until next time, I'll holler back. Deuces.